Hello everyone! Happy Thursday! How's everyone doing today? I am doing well. I am your host, as always, Community Manager Luke for Fantasy Flight Interactive, bringing to you the Lord of the Rings living card game for PC and Mac coming to Steam on early access at some point in Q1 2018. So I don't have a lot of news for you today. We are going to jump right in. As you can see, I am on my own today, this Thursday, and no guest. But we have a pretty exciting deck that I want to run through with you guys today. Kind of give you a show. We've been talking a little bit on the forums. If you're not on the Steam community forums talking with us, you can join us there and join the conversation. We've been talking a little bit about the role of healing and persistent damage throughout the game, making some changes. And this is kind of our way of talking a little bit about the role of healing and some other ways you can build decks once you open up some hero packs and start looking at some additional cards outside of the core set. So today the deck we're going to be playing with is a Tactics and Spirit deck that focuses on clearing out combat with your two Tactics heroes, then using Frodo to finish off the objective. It's very fast. I have completed the quest that we are doing today in... well, I don't want to start bragging because then the second I do, things are going to go very south very quickly once I start playing. But I have cleared out the quest in well under 30 threat with this deck, so hopefully we will see something like that today. For next week, we will be revealing another new hero on Tuesday, and we will be doing kind of a similar structure to this week. For the streams, we are going to be revealing a new hero, talking a little bit about that hero, and then showing them off in two different decks. Who that hero will be is still to be determined, as some people who joined us last Thursday saw the heroes that are going to be in the hero packs. We revealed that on stream. We revealed Legolas. We revealed that it will be Éowyn, Sam Gamgee, and the final Faramir is going to be the final hero. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be putting up a poll on Twitter. You are going to be able to vote for which hero you'd like to see next week. And then obviously, as we continue on, we are going to show all the heroes eventually. But to start, I just wanted to kind of see how that goes and kind of go from there, just see where people are interested in. People are in the chat are already asking some questions. Thank you for joining us, Quad. For in-game chat and things like that, we are not ready to discuss anything on multiplayer because we're focusing on single player for early access. We are definitely listening, though. There's been a pretty good thread going on about not only guilds, but also integration for friends lists and things like that. Most of that is going to be handled through Steam. The details are still something that's being hammered down, so definitely your feedback on that is appreciated right now. Speaking of feedback, there's some changes that are also coming into the game that we've been talking about this morning, based on some things that people have said about the difference between clearing an objective, engaging an objective, and defeating enemies. So we are going to start talking a little bit about some of those changes too, and hopefully we'll have something to show you coming up in the build. Today's build is pretty good. Pretty stable. We have a problem where we cannot click on gems to see attachments, but other than that, there's a lot of most things are smoothed over. Those cards that were creating stoppages, excuse me, have been fixed and integrated. So we'll be able to take a look at some of the new treachery cards that Sauron's going to be playing. So let's jump right in. We're going to go into the deck blind, and then afterwards we can talk a little bit about some of the choices I made when building it. But let's just jump right into gameplay right now. We're going to be doing Quest 3, and I believe that this is the deck for today, by the way, Protect the Hobbit, 25 threat, with Gimli, Legolas, and Frodo as our heroes. So that's a double tactics, which means that we can include level 2 tactics cards, specifically the bow that we showed on stream. On Tuesday. We're going to be able to include that in our deck, which gives us +1 attack and ambush, which is pretty sweet. They are treachery cards again, Pete. Good notice. So, yeah, there's been some debate over how we are going to use nomenclature for Sauron cards, things like that. They're currently back in as treachery. What that means is going to continue to fluctuate and change. Like I said, everything that you see is going to always be a game in progress build of the game. Everything is subject to change. Things are going to keep on going back and forth. Things are going to keep on getting fixed, revised as we continue to develop the game and work on what we want it to turn out to be. So you got to bear with us and realize that all things are subject to change like that. As I was saying, I can't remember what I was saying. Anyway, this quest 3 we've done a couple of times. This one's really interesting because there are a few different pathways to get through. So you'll be able to, you can either quest through and there's a boss to face down one of the paths. There is a group of orcs that you can face, and there's one that's more focused on objectives. So going into this, we kind of know that. We've built a deck that's built around questing. We're going to go straight for those objectives and try to clear them out as fast as we can and see if we can get under 30. So let's jump right in here and go from there. Yeah, to the valiant efforts of the people updating the spreadsheet. I'm sorry about the terminology changes, but that is going to be the nature of things for a while. Terminology and stat changes. Okay.
You have escaped from the spider's dark colony, only to find yourself lost in the vastness of Mirkwood. The forest is so dark and tangled that it is impossible to know which direction to travel. You must find some landmarks to get your bearings.
You guys gotta bear with me today. I've got a bit of a sore throat, so I'm gonna be drinking a little bit of water, and I might have to cough a little bit. I hope the travel from last week to PAX South and San Antonio and San Francisco isn't starting to catch up to me. I hope I didn't get that dreaded airplane sickness, but we'll see. I think it might just be from coughing from last night, but we'll see. Valiant effort, Pete. Thank you. Okay, so we've got our opening hand here, and you can already see this is a Tactics Spirit, so it's a 2-sphere deck, which means we're taking full advantage of some of the neutral cards as well, with Gandalf. Lulzar, I have updated the title. I didn't update it until the title of the stream. I didn't update it until I got started, so you might have to reload. But we're building with Legolas today, and that should be the title of the stream still. So some people are going to see that old title. Some people are going to have the new ones. If you want to change it, you can refresh the page. But you might miss out on some of this hot card game action. So it's up to you what you want to do. Okay, let's see what we've got. So we've got Secret Paths to apply to progress. This is a really good engine card in this deck because Frodo on his own, he gets +2 to his willpower when Sauron's out of resources, so he can get up to 4. A lot of the objectives are at 6, so you can kind of clear it off in 1 here. So let's keep Secret Paths. I think Round Shield is really critical to this deck because you generally want to get 2 attacks in with Gimli. So you need to protect damage. I'm going to ship the Archer. I'm going to ship Gandalf. I think I don't need Watchful Peace in my opening either. So let's ship those back. And we're going to take Lorien's Wealth. I took Hidden Cash when I was practicing with this deck a while ago because I had Gandalf in my opening hand. But it ended up rotting there for quite some time, and I just ended up needing more cards. So I think I'm just going to stick with Lorien's Wealth for this particular deck. Hey, Gloomy, I see you're asking about some encounter manipulation stuff. Some design space is being left for things that we don't want in the initial set, but we might want to experiment with in the future. So those kinds of mechanics and those kinds of identities for the spheres are things that we're definitely thinking about. So just because you don't see something in the core set doesn't mean we won't ever do it, I suppose, is my best answer for that. Okay. Get our 3 resources, get a feint. I'm going to use Legolas just to clear off the bats here. Just get them off the table so that they can't exhaust one of our heroes. Action economy is really super important in this deck because we are kind of limited in how many actions that we can take without any allies, so it's very important for us to make sure we can't get exhausted. So let's do that. Well, he plays a Mirkwood Flock, of course. Some wargs, but he's at 0 resources, so this is what I was talking about. Frodo can actually clear the objective in a single activation here if we Secret Paths. It is an event, so we don't have to play it in our preparations, so if he somehow gets exhausted or there's some reason why he can't get to the objective beyond the guard here, then we won't want to have played that. So instead of playing that out, I think that we are going to play a Round Shield out on Gimli. No, totally, Gloomy. Thank you for the feedback. Like, letting us know what kind of mechanics you really like to see in the spheres is actually kind of valuable, because it lets us hash out those identities a little bit better internally. So yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing. The Frodo art has changed. It is currently this one. This is more in line with the some of the promotional materials that we had put out too. But yeah, that is different Frodo art than you had seen before. We have a couple of really great pieces on file because we have such an extensive collection of art, and we are really maximizing what we are using where. So you're going to see some art change. You are going to see some differences. Those changes will continue to happen. For those who did not see Legolas on the reveal stream on Tuesday, here he is. He's going to be dealing 1 on upkeep, and he's got ranged, which means he does not take damage when he attacks an exhausted enemy. That upkeep ability is really his strong engine. You can do a lot with him because you can take out those initial enemies like we did there, or you can just load up damage so that your alpha strikes can be a little bit more effective. A lot of the times 1 damage is basically all you need. So let's jump in. I think I'm just gonna draw some cards and see if there's anything else we want to play here. I think there's a pretty good argument. There's Wandering Took. Some people notice that he has a rival effect now. He steals a resource, so we're kind of making him more in line with some of the other hobbits and making sure that he triggers Frodo. We're creating a synergy with him. There's a good argument for fainting here. Either the bear or the giant spider. I think I'm just going to do it, but I don't know which one. Let's hit the bear. Let's end the planning phase. And I'm going to hold that Gimli so that we can get his activation, and I'll just take the damage off of Legolas here. Okay. So Sauron actually gained a resource. That's super interesting. Sauron killed the Mirkwood flock, gained a resource, and turned off our Frodo. Which means that we won't even if we could get past this guard, which we won't be able to, we wouldn't be able to clear it in a single activation here. Yep, we're seeing some clipping here on the grass through the adventure button. That is a bug. End our adventuring phase here. Alright. Let's Legolas to hit the spider. Yeah, guard is back to its old. Sauron played exhaustion to exhaust all of our wounded characters, so he is going to basically steal our turn here. That is super unfortunate because Frodo's at 2, and that actually might just kill our quest here. Well, we've got 4 that we can play out on the objective. Do we just do that? I think we need to play another ally here. As I was saying, yeah, so we had it so that guard went away when a character was exhausted. That was a temporary experiment, and it looks like we are back to the old way. We weren't really happy with how it ended up playing. We're still thinking about how we're going to be playing guard and how we wanted to affect the board. Some other people were asking about attacking stealth. So stealth works if all of your characters are unexhausted. So once he is the only unexhausted character, or if he is if he's the only unexhausted character, then he can be attacked. Let's end our planning phase here. So that actually probably does spell defeat for this deck, because it's kind of built around that Frodo engine. And of course that happens right when I jump on stream. I have that problem. But that's fine. We'll give this another run if we're not successful and see if we can finish it with this deck. Another guard. So maybe we actually should have put that round... We put that round shield on Gimli to get multiple activations off of him, but he's currently at 10 health. Maybe we should have actually put it on Frodo. So in the future, maybe that's what we'll end up doing. I'm actually going to fully load up Gimli and give him Surge, so that he can attack twice. Attack in there. The bear comes in. Finish him off with Legolas so that we can use the activation on Warg. Well, Warg is going to kill itself, so we can just use our Legolas there. We can also just kill the bear. We'll just do that, and we'll end our adventuring phase. Yeah, exhaustion is super, super powerful right now. Just because your characters are basically always going to have damage on them, it usually allows Sauron to exhaust the entire board. Sauron plays another treachery. maybe you guys, I don't think you've seen this yet, the continue button here. We're trying to make sure that phasing is a little bit clearer and a little bit easier for people to parse and understand. So when Sauron plays a card, we now have a contextual button for it. So, and he plays out spooked horses to scare our horses and steal 2 resources. So I'm guessing this is treacherous fog, which is going to make us discard 2 cards. I mean, discard a card. Speaking of discarding 2, though, Lost in the Wilderness is going to capture 2 from us. We can find our bearings to get it back. I think we are just going to ignore. Usually it's worth it going after rescue the horses because you get those resources back and it's not static. Here, if we travel, you'll get your cards back anyway. So I usually don't try to find my bearings right away if I've got a clear board. But I think here, since we're so low on willpower and we can't play that woodland our woodland courier, I think we are just going to rush towards the objective here. We'll apply 2 progress. Yep, we'll discard a card with Treacherous Fog. We get rid of Gandalf. Put 2 here. End our planning phase.
You would die before your stroke fell.
I see some people are asking about... Oh, I had a second activation because of the surge. Missed that. That's a misplay. Let's see. There's that bow that we included in our deck because we have the 2 tactics heroes. Got an Orc Marauder. Put the bow on Legolas. This deck is not operating as intended right now because we have no Frodo, so I'm kind of playing by the seat of my pants and seeing what would be best. Like, I'm not sure here if I should be attacking or just questing to finish the objective. I decided to save the second secret path because I thought we would be able to clear this, which we are. And secret path can be really valuable when you have like a guard up or something, some reason that you cannot apply progress. So I like to hold on to that card until I'm in one of those kinds of back against the wall situations. So we're past the first location. The deck's not performing optimally because our Frodo's dead, but we defeated. Excuse me. But we are still making it through with our 2 tactics heroes, so hopefully we'll be okay. We are going to search for the path because we know that this leads to the objective. So it's going to be the fastest way out of this particular quest. Not sure where to apply damage here. I think I'm going to throw it on the bear because then if it attacks anywhere, it will die immediately. Orc Beastmaster brings an Orc Hound with it. Nope, so Surge still works that, we are currently on normal engage. Surge still works that if it attacks, if it activates, it gets a second activation. So if it has some exhaustibility too, you'd be able to Surge to get a second one. I'm going to play out the Woodland Courier. It's probably going to die, but the 1 progress can help us out a little bit here. That's right, we are searching for the path. Let's get a round shield out on Legolas because he's taken some damage here. I think he has the bow on him though, so he won't receive reciprocal damage from these enemies that he attacks here. We'll clear off the Orc Hound. Won't take any damage because of our round shield. Go up to 5. Gimli's got his second attack here. We'll use it to clear out the wargs. And we will end the attack. Well, they both have the bow on them, so neither of them are receiving reciprocal damage. That's pretty strong. So we might actually be okay here if we can use ambush to its best effect. And for those who are wondering, ambush is the attacker resolves damage before the target, so if it kills it, it's not going to receive reciprocal damage. If we can use that to the best of our abilities, we can probably clear this out with taking little to no damage here. There's some Black Forest Bats. I'm going to quicker than sight, just in case he plays like Hidden in Shadow or something. We want to get that destroyed. Shebeska, thanks for joining us for the first time. So higher difficulties do not have differences in cards right now. It's just differences between number of cards played, number of resources accessed, and other number tweaks like that. We're not going the Nightmare route because that's a content plan that we might think about doing in the future, something like that. But currently it's just adjustable difficulty based on scaling and points received and points earned. no apologies for joining us. We're okay with answering questions that we've already heard, because we love to have new faces in the stream, for sure. And thanks for helping out anybody who helping answer those questions before I get to them. So let's finish off the bear. Oh, he doesn't have the bow. Man, I really wish we could we could check our attachments. Unfortunately, right now that's bugged. And we will work toward the objective. Move here. And we will go into our upkeep. We have no trigger. Planning. During our turn, we will just hold on to our cards. We don't need to do anything. We will finish the path and travel. Okay, so Gimli's only at 1. Sounds like there was some triggers that just happened there. Oh, it was because the attack trigger, but the visual happened too quickly. So it looks like we're probably gonna have a defeated Gimli when we move on to this next location here. We are in our overgrown trail here, and our objective is just to escape the forest. And like I said, yeah, Gimli did go down, so it looks like we're not going to be able to clear this. But let's give it a shot. We'll play out as much as we can from our hand while we still have the option. Spooks are horses. Yeah, I just got to confirm that immediate travel is causing those attacks to happen off screen. So that's just a temporary bug. We're going to have to put that in the reports and get that fixed. Best to just play out secret paths here. Work toward this objective. Yeah, McDog, so the attack happened when we were traveling, which is a bug, but if you have unexhausted enemies when you travel on the board, they still get in their last activation. So the Warg Riders activated because it was doing its pursuit, attacked Gimli, and then moved on to the next location. So that's why Gimli's defeated. Oh, Hummerhorns. Yeah, that is actually, we've replaced the Forest Flies with Hummerhorns art. The name's going to be changed and updated as well. And we actually have a new enemy design that's going to be, currently unseen, is going to be added to these quests too. We've moved some stuff around, tried to kind of make things more thematically in line. You know, there's nothing about Forest Flies that don't say Lord of the Rings, but Hummerhorns to us were just a little bit closer to what we were looking to do with that. The design of the card. So we've adjusted some titles here. Okay. I'm gonna play out the Took. Steal a resource from Sauron. Well, I shouldn't say steal because we don't get it added to ours. But he's down to 1 now. We're at 35 threat, unfortunately. We're gonna make a second run on this quest after we're done here today. See if we can do it with a little bit lower threat. I'm going to put a sword. I'm actually just going to put it on the Took, because I think he's probably going to get attacked first since he has the lowest health, but hopefully he can take something out or at least get it low enough where Legolas will be able to kill it.
You would die before your stroke
So if the bow works as planned, yep, takes down the bear. I'm actually just going to apply the progress while I've got the chance. Okay, so we'll be able to take down Hummerhorns. We'll end. Yeah, they do not hold a candle to the Hummerhorns within the tabletop game, but they are pretty powerful themselves right now. We are currently in Quest 3, for those asking. This is not an ideal hand by any means. We'll end our planning since we don't have anything to play here.
You would die before your stroke fell.
Clear them out. I don't think we can survive here. Because we have a shield on Legolas, so he's taking 1 less damage from these, so these guys are actually getting their attacks completely oh, hopefully Bjorn can save it. These guys are getting their attacks basically completely fainted right now. Favor of the Lady gives our characters +1 willpower. It's one of the Spirit Core cards. And it's a special attachment, so characters can have 3 types of attachments. Weapons, armor, and then finally special. I do not believe Legolas currently has a special on him. So we could potentially play it out. Let's play out Bjorn, though. And we'll end there. So is there any way to prevent Legolas from getting attacked here? McDog, so you can only have 3 attachments. You can have only one of each type, so I couldn't put both the favors on Legolas and then just go straight for the objective, though I would like to do that. I don't think there's any way for us to survive. Because if we use Bjorn to attack the pack of wargs, we can exhaust them, prevent any attack from there. But then the spider comes in and deals just enough to kill Legolas. Both of the hammer horns don't matter because their one attack means that it'll just get canceled out by Legolas's shield. So... and it would be the same. We could have put both the favor of ladies, so some people are pointing out. We could put them on one of each of these, and then quest Legolas, but once Legolas goes down, since he's the last hero, we can't complete with Bjorn, so that wouldn't work either. Ambush is only for when you are attacking, that's correct. Let's see if the spiders go after. Yeah, that's it. That's too bad. Yeah, we had a kind of a weird start there with that exhaustion that took us down. That coupled with a couple of pretty key attacks on Frodo with no defenses on him meant that he went down before he was supposed to. Let's give it one more shot and see if we can clear it. I've got my developer log coming up there real quick. We'll jump back in. Go into back into Lost in Mirkwood and give it another shot. See if we can put the shield on Frodo and see if we can keep him alive a couple extra rounds. Yeah, so the game ends when you lose all of your heroes, so allies do not... you cannot finish a quest with just allies. So even if you've got one left out, if all your heroes are dead, or defeated, excuse me, then the game is complete. Not a great opening hand. I'm gonna keep Feint. Okay. That's better, actually. This is a pretty good opener. Yeah, I agree. Exhaustion is really, really powerful. Let's take down the bat like last time. We will... that's another sentinel. I mean, excuse me, another guard. That's going to be difficult to deal with. Put the shield up on Frodo this time. Feint out the 3, 4. And end our planning phase. So because of that, I'm actually secure with attacking with Frodo, because we're not going to get through both of these guards here. Clear him out. Get our ranged attack in on the spider there. Let's draw 2 while we're here. Tom and a wandering took here. Alright, we have Surge. Let's put a damage on the bear. I don't think it really matters because I think we're going to be taking out both of them here. Oh, but we could archer it down now. Sweet. Let's do it. Alright. Archer takes down the bear. It's probably going to end up... one of these enemies are probably going to attack our archer here, but I think it was worth it to clear out that bear while we still could. I'm going to get 2 activations. I'm actually going to put another round shield. I'm going to play it on Gimli, though. And end our planning here. Take down the spider. Archer, yep. So now that it's exhausted, I'm just going to probably clear it with Legolas, so we are going to focus on completing our objectives here.
I will go alone.
End our adventuring phase. On upkeep, we will take down the sniper here. He's down. Lost in the Wilderness is going to take 2 cards from our hands and capture them. So we're going to lose both our Star Brooches. Star Brooch has also been really powerful in this deck because you basically get 2 activations out of one of your tanks here. So that's unfortunate, but I think we're just going to be clearing this anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. Let's steal a resource from Sauron. He's currently at 1, so we will take it with the Took, and then that will actually activate Frodo. So you can kind of already see, that synergy that's playing out, which we were really going for when we made that change to the card.
I will go alone.
So, Frodo does indeed go alone to clear the objective all on his own. He engages with it, and we travel. Yeah, Starbruch on Frodo is pretty insane. I think I mentioned it on Tuesday's stream that I cleared an 8 willpower objective in 1 move with Frodo because of that. Because of his stealth, all the damage was going towards the tactics heroes, and he was able to engage twice in a row and clear it up, which was really powerful. We are currently sitting at 27 threat for people who were wondering. We've got it up in the corner there. I'm back. 27, so we're under 30 currently in the second location. We probably are going to break 30 by the time we get there, but there are no guards on this board, so we can actually go right for the objective with Frodo. See, Sauron spends all his resources to play out a bear. So these bears are going to pursue us to the next location, so that's probably a good argument for focusing our damage on them. But we are going to Starbruch, get it on Frodo there. We've got 3 resources left. I should have pointed Legolas's 1 damage at the Muck Adder and then used the Archer to finish it off. That's alright. We'll put a Starbruch out on Legolas to give him 2 activations. Normally I'd put it on Gimli, but he's taking some damage right now, so I don't think I'm going to want to activate him twice. And we can move into the adventure phase. Look at Tom, just grinning right at you, looking at you. I love him. I love seeing him in my hand, too. He's awesome. We'll clear a bear. Okay, that's fine. We'll quest. It'll be in another attack, and then we will just go ahead and secret paths to clear the objective in our first turn there and move on to the next location. So there was some more attacks. We'll see what happens with that. Yep, Surge means that after your first activation, you will get to activate a second time. Finish up here. Oh yeah, I forgot that I had Starbruch on Frodo there. So yeah, I did not have to secret paths in order to complete that. You are correct. Just drop the bear. It doesn't matter because this is our last leg of the quest, so we don't really have to defeat the. Oh no, actually, Frodo has not taken any damage, so. Oh, but he's going to be able to be attacked because our other heroes are going to be exhausted. Oh, wow. Okay. So we have to play out... If we play out these allies, then he won't be able to attack. And I think we'll be able to clear this with Starbruch and 4 willpower. So let's do that. So, again, we are placing damage on these enemies in order to... We're just playing out allies in order to create more targets. We'll put 1 on the objective there. And I think that should do it, because they has to attack here. Unless I'm wrong, or unless stealth bugs out or anything like that, but we'll see. Put this down to 1. Attack there. And clear the objective, so we are going to finish out here. And that completes the quest. So that was an example of this deck's engine operating on all cylinders and firing at maximum capacity. And there we go. Fast, quick, and maybe a little sloppy, but we got there. So you can kind of see what this deck was going for. One of the ways you can kind of succeed without building around health, you can kind of do these rush decks. Things to keep in mind, obviously, are that I moved through that location, each of those locations and each of those quests, having already known what was in that particular leg of the adventure. So I knew what each objective led to, what those different locations were, and I knew which one was going to be more focused on spirit and more sound for the strategy that I had chosen. Had I gone in blind, I probably would have made the wrong decisions at first with this kind of a deck. So this is probably not the kind of deck that you can... this is probably not the same kind of deck that you can play the first time that you go through a quest. You probably want to go in with a little bit more of a well-versed, well-rounded deck to try to learn the quest. But once you start to really master the game, you can start building these strategies that go all out and are built to basically break and optimize a quest. And that's what we have done here today. We got through with 27 total threat. All of our heroes were alive, and our deck basically was able to make it through with very little turns and actually activations. So pretty happy with that. Let's jump into the deck builder and talk a little bit about some of the choices I made for the deck. So we can jump in, take a look at Protect the Hobbit. So we talked a little bit about Favor of the Lady, which was giving us +1 to our willpower. Watchful Peace, which clears out 3 threat. So if you are +30 and you wanted to end the game under 30 for whatever reason, you can Watchful Peace. You can also drop it down below your starting threat with this card, which is super interesting. So if I'm starting with 25, I can drop my threat to basically down to 22 on turn 1. The problem with that is that you're spending 2 resources to do that. So it's an interesting dichotomy where like you're spending 2 resources in a card to basically get a better score, and also prevent other threat triggers from happening or anything from occurring based on your threat value. So yeah, that's kind of a trade-off there. But I think the card is pretty good in this deck. So we've got Favor of the Lady down there, which we had talked about. Gives you +1 willpower. This card is usually like you can put it on Frodo and then eventually get him up to 5. I actually end up playing this on a lot of my threat triggers. Did I say that? Uh-oh. Like I said, that's not something we've shown in the core set or anything that we've looked at, but you know, we are looking at making threats something that's a little bit more dynamic in the game, so we might have some news for you soon. Stay tuned on that. Favor of the Lady. I end up putting it on allies almost as often as I put it on heroes, because then Sauron kind of doesn't really know who to go for. If you put it on Woodland Courier, you've got a 3 willpower ally, and that can be pretty powerful in a lot of cases. Feint, which is good for those attacks. Bjorn, we've only got 1 in the deck. It might be worth making another one and playing 2 within the deck because we had a pretty high critical mass of resources there. So we'll decide what we want to do with that in the future. Close Call instead of Watchful Peace is an interesting choice. Cancel damage from the next enemy attack. Actually, Close Call instead of... Oh, but Close Call is a level 2. That's why I didn't include it in the deck. I would agree with you that it would be better if we had 2 Spirit Heroes to play, but it is in fact a level 2. This is a Valor card that I have unlocked that I was playing around with another deck. But good call. Yeah, that would be better if we could play it. Bow is really, really good. So that ambush is super, super strong and one of the best ways to prevent like a lot of the reciprocal damage from loading up on your heroes. So I think we're probably going to keep on playing that. I really like that card in there too. We've got 1 Gandalf, I believe. No, we've got the full Gandalf, 2 Gandalfs in there, because of that 5 resource. That's probably why I was only playing 1 Bjorn, because I thought 4 or 5 cost allies would be a little bit too expensive, but I don't know. Maybe there is an argument for playing them. Engage, let me just read your question here. Is this restricted from playing certain cards in his pool for a quest? From playing certain cards in his pool for a quest until the player reaches a certain threat level. So no, currently that is not. There are no restrictions on how Sauron plays cards based on threat, but like I said, there might be some changes to how we are integrating and playing threats, so you know, I don't really want to render any verdicts right now, basically, because that's something we're thinking about. But thanks for asking the question. Yeah, for sure. We've gotten a lot of feedback on making threats some kind of dynamic counter within the game and making it, you know, affect a lot of Sauron's choices and decisions, and we are listening to that for sure. Theoretically, Gloomy, if you had 10 resources, you could technically play 2 Gandalfs in 1 turn. Well, you couldn't because of the unique, but if the unique was not there, you could play 2 in 1 turn. But because of unique, you wouldn't be able to do that. But yeah, that's something that we're talking about. Rogue Agent. Valor cards are not only available through the Palantir, you can get them for Valor, which is the score that you get at the end of your at the end of your adventures, so you can just spend your score here in order to unlock new Valor cards. They are not locked behind the Palantir. Yeah, so rarity in cards. That's something that some people have been asking about too. So rarity determines on Valor, it determines how much it's going to cost, and then it's also a power indicator. And then for the sake of sorting out cards and making sure that the hero packs were relatively balanced, each hero pack has one of the rarities, so you'll have a rare and uncommon, a common, and a legendary. That's kind of a way of us making sure that you are getting relatively the same amount of power out of each of the hero packs. Let's see what we've got. C-Stan, that is correct. So you are going, the hero packs currently contain one of the non-hero cards, and then the rest can be bought with Valor, or they can be found in the Palantir once you do that. So if you want to complete your playset, that's how you're going to be able to do that. That is correct. There are not any cards locked behind the Palantir at all. Anything that you see within the game can either be bought from the hero packs or within the Valor. It's really important to us to not lock any cards behind any kind of randomization. So yes, that's not something that we are going to be doing. Okay. We were talking about Gandalf a little bit. Quicker than sight, which, yeah, I think I agree that it was kind of a little bit underperforming within that last game. I'm not super stoked about that. I kind of want to leave it in to see if it is valuable, but I think maybe you're going to be playing this card as a silver bullet once Sauron starts breaking out, like a quest with a ton of Devour and Shadows or something like that. Quicker than sight's going to be a little bit more powerful. Love the art, though, I can say that. But I'm not sure if it's right in this deck. I might cut one for a second Gandalf there, and I guess just leave in the one, or try to arrive at a second one at some point. Round Shield is part of the engine in the deck. You need it in order to mitigate that damage. Secret Paths, I think we are going to... yeah, Rube. Yeah, so Sneak Attack pulls from the entire pool of allies, so even cards that you do not have. Secret Paths is another engine card within the deck, and so is Starbruch. These are kind of the staples of how the deck operates. So we're going to leave those in too. Tom was awesome. I think I just have the one in here. Yep. Tom didn't get to be played here, but he's been awesome in the past when I've used him off of stream. We will jump back in. And we will hopefully use him at some point. Veteran Axe Hand is good. One of my favorite allies within this core set, and the 1 willpower actually helps out quite a bit, especially when you do load up Frodo so that he's got 5 willpower. He can usually be the last point that can help clear out. Same with Wandering Took, who's very powerful now that he's got this arrival effect. And it's very hard to get low-costed allies on the board. This deck in general is a little bit starved for allies. It's got more attachments than I think your average deck will have, but it kind of needs that in order to make sure that we can get our engine going. And Woodland Courier has been good. Same with Warrior Sword. So yeah, I think the only card that's really on the chopping block for us is Quicker Than Sight. And we can maybe unlock another Bjorn with our Valor here and add it to the deck in the future. But maybe we'll see more of this deck. There's no plans for it currently, but you know, maybe if we have a flex stream or a bonus stream or something like that and people want to see it, we can take a look at it and go through. I'd like to have, after we reveal all the hero pack cards, I'd like to have some kind of gauntlet for the decks and kind of come to a favorite build at some point over the coming weeks here. I think that might be fun to do. So hopefully in the future we'll be able to do that. But for next week, we will be revealing one of the heroes. Like I said earlier, there's going to be a poll on Twitter where you can decide which hero you want to take a look at next week. We are going to go off that poll and basically decide who we're going to show based on that. So if you're not following us on Twitter at FFI_games, you can jump on there and give us a follow and then let us know in the poll who you would like to see on stream. Somebody's asking about localization. So we are aiming for English, French, Italian, German, and Spanish on full release, and then we want eventually to integrate Portuguese as well as basic simplified Chinese to the game at some point as well. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. It's been a fun stream. I really like showing off these kinds of clever builds. Deck building is kind of the reason I got into card games in the first place personally. So being able to do that here with you guys today is a real treat. So hopefully in the future we'll be able to do that. So general sign-offs, my name is Luke. I'm the community manager for Fantasy Flight Interactive. You can find us on Twitter at FFI_games. You can find us on Facebook.com/FFI Games. You can find us here on Twitch.tv/FFI Games. We're uploading some old broadcasts. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the policy on uploading VODs on Twitch has changed within the last week. There's kind of now a premiere system that they are setting up. So basically, when you upload a VOD, you can set a premiere so that chat can join and watch. We are going to figure out the best unobtrusive way of do this, because I don't really want subscribers to have to get those notifications. If anybody has a solution, let me know. Contact me on Facebook or something. But we're trying to figure out a way to upload those VODs without sending everybody a notification whenever they go live. So we'll figure that out. Other social tags, YouTube. We now have youtube.com/fantasyflightinteractive. We have secured that URL, which is exciting. And so we will be. You can join us on any of those places, and if you have any feedback for the game, the best place to place all that is within the Steam forums, which I check, we all look at. We pull a lot of feedback from there. We've already seen some impact from that forum on the game here, and you can kind of talk to some other people who are excited for the game. People have been talking about, I saw a suggestion to make a Steam group within Steam for Lord of the Rings. That's probably something we will do in the future. I think that's a really good idea. We're going to try to make an official FFI one, and people can kind of join that and meet other players through that. So that's something that we will definitely do that. Yeah, absolutely. So thanks again for joining us. We will have more for you on Tuesday. Keep a lookout for that poll, and have a good weekend. Thanks. Bye-bye.